You know, we've walked on the moon, we've built skyscrapers that literally pierce the clouds, and we've tunneled under entire oceans. And yet, for 4,500 years, one ancient structure continues to just blow our minds and challenge modern engineering: the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's an absolute marvel, but it really makes you wonder, could we even build it today? And what in the world would it cost? All right, let's get into it. The legendary archaeologist Zahi Hawass, I think, said it best: these pyramids built Egypt. And he's so right. This wasn't just a tomb, you know? This was the project. This is what forged an entire civilization. It was a national effort that organized their society, pushed their technology forward, and really just cemented their place in history forever. So, that brings us right back to our big question. If they could pull this off thousands of years ago, can we, with all of our fancy, modern technology, do it again? Well, the simple answer is probably not. And the reasons why are fascinating. The biggest roadblock is actually purpose. But let's put a pin in that for a second and just imagine we did have a reason. What would it actually take? Okay, so first things first, let's just try to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of the task the ancient Egyptians were facing. I mean, this wasn't just a building, they were creating an artificial mountain. To really get it, let's put this into modern terms. We're talking about a structure as tall as a 40-story office building. Its base covers an area big enough for 10 football fields. It's made of 2.3 million stone blocks, bringing the total weight to a staggering 6 million tons. Just try to picture 6 million cars all stacked on top of each other. That's what we're talking about. And yeah, these aren't small bricks we're talking about. The average block is about the size of an SUV. So imagine having to quarry, transport, and then perfectly place millions of SUVs to build a skyscraper. That's the kind of scale we're dealing with here. It's almost impossible to comprehend. So, if we were actually going to take on this crazy challenge today, where would we even begin? Well, just like any modern megaproject, you've got to start from the ground up. So the very first problem, right out of the gate, is finding a piece of land that won't just, collapse under 6 million tons of rock. And the ancient Egyptians, they knew this. There's another pyramid, the Bent Pyramid, that they had to change halfway through construction because the foundation was unstable. It started to crack, and a total collapse was, well, it was a very near thing. So to do it right today, you're looking at massive costs before you even lay a single stone. Just getting 13 acres of stable ground like the Giza Plateau and all the legal permits, that's probably going to run you about $120 million. Then you'd need all the subsurface scans and laser leveling to make sure the base is perfectly flat. Tack on another $5 million. And you know what? We can't just trust the bedrock, so we need a huge reinforced concrete foundation, a $400 million slab. And just like that, boom, we're already at over $500 million, $525 million to be exact. And we haven't even bought the first rock yet. Okay, our $500 million foundation is set. Now it's time for the next bit, getting our hands on a literal mountain of material for the pyramid itself. And to put this into perspective, think about the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building on Earth. It weighs about 500,000 tons. The Great Pyramid is 12 times heavier. This isn't really a building project. It's more like a mass relocation project on a geological scale. Just getting all this stone is an industrial challenge that is, frankly, mind-boggling. To cut 2.3 million blocks in, say, a 5-year time frame, you'd need something like 250 industrial diamond wire saws running 24/7. The actual limestone and granite, a jaw-dropping $1 billion. And powering those saws for 5 straight years, oh, that's just a cool $155 million electricity bill. And then you have to get it all there, from quarries like Aswan, 900 kilometers away. That's a $200 million logistics nightmare. So when you add all that up, well, the costs really start to get out of hand. Our running total has now rocketed past the $2 billion mark. We're now in the same territory as some of the most expensive projects on the entire planet. So, we have our foundation, we have our stones arriving every few minutes. Now we get to the part that has absolutely baffled historians for centuries: the impossible lift. How on earth do you get these blocks, some of them weighing up to 80 tons, that's the weight of a Boeing 737, all the way to the top of a 40-story structure with millimeter precision? I mean, even modern cranes would struggle with that. Their lifting power drops like a rock the higher they have to go. So the modern solution would have to be this complex, custom-built network of massive tower cranes, which would have to be constantly taken apart and put back together as the pyramid gets taller. Just renting and maintaining that kind of specialized gear for 5 years would cost at least $300 million. And of course, you need people. A skilled workforce of about 3,000 engineers, masons, and laborers would add another $400 million in salaries and insurance. We're almost there. The main structure is up, but to truly recreate the original, we have to add that final, absolutely dazzling detail that most people completely forget about. You see, the pyramid we look at today is just the rough core. Originally, it was covered in 115,000 highly polished, brilliant white Turl limestone blocks. They were fit so perfectly together, you couldn't even slip a credit card between them. In the Egyptian sun, the entire thing would have shone like a massive jewel. You could have seen it for miles. Recreating that smooth, gleaming surface, that's going to cost another $250 million. Okay, so we've laid the foundation, we've quarried and shipped a mountain of stone, we've lifted it all into place with incredible precision, and we've added that gleaming finish. So, after all of that, what is the grand total? The final bill comes to a minimum of $2.95 billion. And honestly, that's probably a conservative estimate. That's not even including things like road taxes for all the trucks or the cost of building a dedicated power plant just to run the whole operation. So what else could you get for nearly $3 billion? Well, you could build SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, one of the most advanced sports arenas in the world. You could create an entire artificial island chain like the Palm Jumeirah in Dubai. Or you could build a national natural gas processing plant. Projects that have a clear, modern economic or entertainment value. And that really brings us to the final and I think most important points. It proves that the biggest barrier to building a pyramid today, it isn't really the money or even the technology. I mean, we could theoretically do it. The ultimate barrier is purpose. The ancient Egyptians had this profound religious and societal motivation that drove them for decades. What reason would we have today to pour $3 billion into a silent mountain of stone? And that, maybe, is the greatest testament of all to their incredible achievement.